We were late. We were more late last time.
That's right. Hello, folks. We're a little bit late, but that's par for the course. I was watching a old music video and someone got held up. But tonight is tonight is true. Tonight is Fandango Friday, and we have me from Louisiana and James P. Madonna from New Jersey.
Yes, and they're the right now the part of the country that is known for their very cold winters has a big blaze going on.
Yeah, all that.
All that stuff, on top of the lockdown with the pandemic and the national debt and people and the unemployed and what else? Small business owners on the verge of losing their family-owned stores if they don't open up soon.
Right.
But I know in New York and New Jersey, well, New York has opened up the lesser populated counties, and the next step is New York City, but they have to use their own discretion to keep people socially distanced, but they should really open up. They can open up by doing it intelligently.
Here's Thomas Meadow, 75, Eric Fraunfelter, Massachusetts, peer reviews. Hello, Massachusetts. So now we got New England, the Mid-Atlantic, and the Gulf Coast, Gulf South. Well, I'm going to show y'all what I'm going to drink, and for a moment, and then everybody else can chime in. Here is something I was talking to James about off air, and it's called Shochikubai.
Shochikubai sake, standard sake, not the dry cold draft, standard sake.
Yeah, classic Junmai. It's the rice is polished to 70%. There's an extensive website. It said refrigerate after opening, so I had it at room temperature, but now I'm going to try it chilled. This is a Japanese company called Takara, but they produce it in the United States in Berkeley, California. They've been doing that since 1983. It's a gold foil label. And they said that it took them a long time to perfect it in America because they use snow melt from the Sierra Nevada mountains. And then the rice is a special kind of rice. I can't remember the name of it, but I could look that up. And they said it was a good California rice that they use in the. Now they make probably 40 different types of sake. This company, okay, believe me, they're incredible. Their website is absolutely incredible.
It's a very old company too.
Very old, since 1851, I think. Before the revolution in Japan, when they overthrew the shogun, that was in 1867. So it's older than that. And what that was, just real briefly, was the shogun was supposed to be the prime minister of Japan, working for the emperor. But what happened was, for hundreds of years, the prime minister's family actually took over the government and ran the country as their own empire. And the emperor was sort of like just a puppet and a figurehead that they used. But there was a revolution. And they overthrew those people, and they reestablished the central government's authority, and they outlawed feudalism. But that's another story. So anyway, I poured it. It's kind of yellowish. You know how sake would be kind of yellowish, like boiled rice, because that's what it is, brewed rice. Oh, now they said that they add yeast, of course, to ferment it. But they said that the Junmai is pure sake, and they don't have brewers' alcohol added. They said other type of sakes, which could be very expensive, they will add alcohol to kind of pump it up, sort of like the sherry wines and the Madeira wines. Okay, now, James, are you drinking anything in particular tonight, or you just
No, I got something. It's not alcoholic, but I got something. Oh, the Shoguns had Japan at one time was not unified. There was like a shogun for every region of Japan,
right?
and they were fighting each other, of course, according to the samurai movies. But I think the cold draft Hokkaido style was from that company, the one that I brought one time on the show. Yeah, it was called Cold Draft.
Oh, okay. And it was from Takara.
I believe that was the company because I recognized the label. I recognized the label. Okay, I got the Whole Foods 365 organic soy milk this time instead of the almond milk. The As far as the almond milk goes, the vanilla flavored one far surpassed the original almond milk. Okay, this one here is carrageenan free. Oh, that's nice. Excellent source of vitamin B12 and D. Certified organic soybeans, organic cane sugar. Only 100 calories per cup. And let's just check out the ingredients. First ingredient: organic soy milk, filtered water, organic soybeans. That's good. Organic cane sugar, calcium carbonate, which is the calcium, the common calcium that they use. Sea salt, natural flavor, organic natural flavor. Jalan gum, organic locust bean, and spiked with vitamins, vitamin A, palmitate, B2, B12, and D2. I never heard of D2. I've heard of D3. But anyway, Whole Foods, Austin, Texas. I'm going to try it. Of course, I've been drinking it. I'm going to try it. And my official Banana King, which is a Latin American food franchise here in this area. All right. I can taste the soy. I can taste the vanilla. It's very rich and creamy. It is very much like whole milk, but even creamier than whole milk. And as I would, as soy milks go, I would give this 100. As far as all the soy milks I ever had, as far as collectively non-dairy beverages, including soy, almond milk, oatmeal milk, and all the others, I would give this, I would say, to be fair, I would give it a 98 out of 100 in terms of the non-dairy beverage. Okay, say in French, but it is actually like a vanilla milkshake without being as thick. That's how good this is.
Man, that sounds pretty good.
And you can't
I've never had that.
Yeah, you can't go wrong when you spike these things with vanilla. Because a tip: don't accidentally buy the unsweetened. Hold your horses. We're getting there. Why? Because I'm talking about a non-alcoholic beverage. What was I going to say? If
You were talking about unsweetened.
There's always somebody that. Anyway, and this is a tomahawk. Don't get the unsweetened non-dairy beverages or milks. You'll be sorry. It tastes horrible. There's hardly any flavor. All right, now you can talk about your booze. Adios, amigo.
All right, now Eric, what do you have?
A haircut finally. Places
Oh,
are
yeah.
opening as of the 26th in Massachusetts for getting a haircut. Yeah,
Yeah.
100 out of 100 on this one. Local barbershop. Pretty cool stuff. Today I bring Beer Advocates world-class score out of 100 beer. Beer Advocate or Rate Beer says it's 100 for its style and 100 out of 100 as a beer overall. If that doesn't make you guess what brand it is, oh boy, it's a Treehouse beer. We got Treehouse Brewing Company and they're green. It is 7.5% alcohol by volume, and this was canned on the 14th of May, so very recently. And they say it is their cross-continental IPA made with American or Australian and American hops. This heavy, tropical heavy IPA opens up in the glass with notes of hugely flavorful notes. All right, they said that twice. Notes of pineapple, orange sorbet, lemon, lime, and tangerine. Da 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 da. Hopped in both kettle and dry hop to extreme yet careful calculated degrees. Green maintains an elegant balance and unique drinkability. It's their favorite, and it's their island beer. And they say 6 to 8 weeks it should be fresh in the can, and it will add additional fruit forward character at that time. And very lastly, I guess they got a pound of Galaxy hops back in 2012, and they made sure to use it right because it can provide a lot of bittering, or it can what do they say? It can provide like a chalky kind of mouthfeel if you do it wrong with those hops. But yeah, I mean, it's more orangey on my end, but definitely there is like that orange, lemony, yellow kind of look to it. Yeah, that is very unfiltered with that nice bright white head. That's a good look at it. All right, 7.5 the green percent alcohol.
Like kind of like lemon yellow when you hold it up to the camera. Okay.
Yeah, lemon lime, lemon yellow, mellow yellow. It definitely kind of has that lemon and lime smell, more towards the lemons, more towards your obvious citrus fruits. 7.5 is not showing its head in any regard. It's got a little bit of like that bubble gum kind of sweetness to the yeast strain. A straight kind of white bread. There's not really any toasty notes to it. And it kind of does have a clean smell once you get past a little bit of that bready malt. So exactly what you would think for a awesome New England IPA. So cheers.
Cheers to you. Cheers to you.
So there's a little bit more of the 7.5 in the taste. You're not getting a whole bunch of it though. It's extremely smooth. It's got a really pulpy kind of a taste to it. It's got that the peel, like the pith part of a grapefruit. And there's a lot of pineapple on this particular one with some of the orange kind of a creamsicle vanilla underneath it on that one. Fairly smooth. I would say crisp, clean, ultra refreshing. I guess I would call it straight up medium. As the body finishes, you're getting a little bit of that dank, kind of oily note from the hopping, and you're getting just a touch. I wouldn't even call it a sting, but you're getting a touch of that 7.5%, just like a brief little moment of warming, but not a whole bunch out of that. It's very awesome cold. It's a drink cold, keep cold, drink fresh. Yeah, do that. You could get into trouble just because it doesn't taste like much of any alcohol. So 100 out of 100. I guess I'm just gonna give it to everybody that rated the beer. Yeah, this is pretty outstanding stuff. Cheers.
Is it expensive? What's the price?
So I got this in a variety pack that they're putting out right now, but I would take a guess. I don't have it out now, but it's probably somewhere between $4 and $5 for a single can when you go to the brewery.
Oh, okay.
They don't even do 4-packs. They just do. Typically, they do things by the single can.
Hello there. Now, hello there again.
Hello, Ron.
Now, this I'm going to add Ronald, but I'm going to give you a quick assessment, and I mean quick. I told you about the yellowness. Now, the rice they use is called Cal Rose rice, and they said that they felt it was the best rice, American rice they could use for their product. So now, if you read their website, they have so many descriptors, like it boggles your mind. It's like, how could this taste like that many things? It's almost like beyond belief. But on the other hand, I'm not a sake expert, so they might be picking up things I can't even hope to pick up. Oh, the aroma. Well, it's very faint, but you pick up a little boiled rice kind of thing. The flavor, I noticed this about, it's a very good flavor. I noticed this about the GeekyCon also. They have a resemblance to Budweiser, and you're going to say, oh, you're crazy. No, because Budweiser is a rice beer. They use polished rice in Budweiser, and these use polished rice. This is at 70% polishing ratio. The body's medium. The finish is, I guess, semi-dry. It's very good. Now, all these exotic descriptors they give, I'm not picking that up. To me, it just tastes like brewed rice with a yeasty quality, and maybe wood. I don't know. 15% alcohol. If I drink another glass of this, who knows what I'll say live on the internet? But I wouldn't do it, But Kampai, Oh, one more thing about the it's an A. I mean, come on, this thing is an A all the way. I don't know about what number, maybe but 94 out of 100, and the price is very good on the price is very good. Now, I thought that and I'm about to add Ronald, so hold on, Ronald, about that. But I thought in Japan under the shogun, I could be wrong, I'm not an expert on Japan, but I thought the shogun was like the prime minister and his family, and then the regional lead. And James is right, these regional leaders were fighting each other all the time with their own samurai warriors, causing chaos across the country, kind of like in medieval Europe.
Warlords.
Yeah, I thought the warlords were called daimyos.
Well, the shogun was the
warriors. There was the knights. The knights.
He was in charge of the
samurai, the knights.
Well, he was in charge of the province, the clan, so to speak. They were like
the daimyos,
yeah.
And then the samurais was their personal warriors, kind of like in Europe, where you had the knights that served their feudal masters and all. Okay, now, but here we're going to add Ronald Sutton, and I'll try to update the comments. But Japan has a unified government today for the last 153 years.
Oh, no.
Evening, gentlemen. Evening.
The Emperor Hirohito didn't have any sons.
Who?
The Emperor Hirohito didn't have any sons that took over when he died.
Yeah, Akihito.
Oh, Akihito. He's royal blood. Okay, he's surviving.
And Akihito's still alive, but he abdicated the throne because he's ill with cancer, and he said he couldn't do the job, so he gave it to his son, who I can't remember his name, the current emperor. But they say in Japan, no one in Japan ever mentions the emperor's name. It's considered very bad. You would say His Majesty or the emperor, but you would never, while the person's alive, ever mention his name. And they also never look at the emperor in his face, eye to eye. It's considered, it's considered extremely disrespectful to look at the emperor face to face. And I was reading in American Geographic magazine, they were saying they train these diplomats, and they say, now look, when you go meet the emperor, this is the Japanese telling them, when you go to meet His Majesty, keep your head down, because of course one does not look into the sun.
I heard that about the Dalai Lama. I heard that about the Dalai Lama also.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
England,
You meet the Dalai Lama, you don't look at him in the eye, man. It's like a curse. Very, very disrespectful.
I think medieval and Renaissance period England, you couldn't look at the King of England or the Queen of England, make eye contact also. I think
That's why you had to bow. Yeah, you had to break eye contact. You had to bow or curtsy. You couldn't keep eye contact.
oh yeah, it's like trying to keep eye contact with a large-breasted woman showing, you know,
Or what do they call that? A praying mantis.
you
You ever
got
try to keep eye contact with a praying mantis? It's like impossible.
nice to meet you, ma'am. Nice to meet you.
Ooh.
You
Oh,
got to keep your
Hey,
chin.
now
your head
Ronald
held.
Sutton's in Ohio. Ronald Sutton is in Ohio, just to let y'all know. I don't know if I got that
Not my
point across.
I
Ohio,
had
Ronald.
a beautiful rainbow about 20 minutes ago. There was a beautiful rainbow, and in the arch of the rainbow, a Baltimore Oriole was perched on a wire, and that was like the brightest Oriole I ever seen. It was in my tree over here, but I couldn't get a picture of it. I couldn't zoom it in.
See,
Like I say, I'm not that articulate with these devices.
you ever
But
see,
no, it was a beautiful Oriole. They come through. They blow through. They're only here for like a couple weeks. This one's been hanging around though. Yeah, beautiful.
you ever see an Oriole feeder? It looks like a hummingbird feeder.
Yep.
Except they don't have to make it orange. They just do that because the whole thing is orange. But it's a jumbo beaker of sugar water, and supposedly they're sapsuckers. You know, I mean, they're nectar drinkers. The Orioles.
I never
Give them
saw it.
oranges.
I
I'll eat
know
'em.
they're great. Everybody thinks they're like a Baltimore Oriole uniform. They're not. The females are more yellow, but the
Yeah.
males, they're like brighter than a cardinal. But they got black wings where a cardinal doesn't. A cardinal got red wings. You can tell the difference. Oriole's a little smaller, but they're neat as
That's
hell.
what
Hey, Eric, I see you got a haircut, man. Where'd you get your haircut? You opened up for business now?
Yeah, we did on the 26th of May, so we're able to get our ears lowered, I guess. Yeah.
Hey, guess what I found in my
Local place in town. Yeah,
I
could
came home from work. It looks good, Eric. Guess what I found in my yard today when I got home from work?
Armadillo.
a troll. No, I don't know. Not a
An
troll.
eagle feather. Eagle feather.
An eagle feather. Osprey or a bald eagle?
Bald eagles fly around here.
Wow.
Really? That's amazing. I'm glad they're. You know what? You know the bald eagles are a national bird. You know, but it's a scavenger. Do you know what Ben Franklin proposed as our national bird?
A turkey.
Yeah, a wild turkey. A wild turkey. Yeah.
Yeah, but they taste good in the smoker.
Yeah.
Right.
They're like forest rats. They've killed all the grouse. You know, I got bird dogs. Well, them turkeys, man, they'll run that bird dog to death. You know, hell with them turkeys. But when they go trouncing through the woods and scavenging, the son of bitches, they eat the grouse eggs. They crunch the grouse eggs and slurp them up. Now there ain't no grouse around here. Yeah, that was a good DNR decision. Yeah, we're gonna reintroduce these things. Shit, there was a reason they got rid of them to begin with. I shoot every one I see. I could care less. I'll put them in a deep fryer. I'll fry them for somebody.
Yeah.
They
Doesn't bother me
introduced
at all.
wild boar from Europe, and look what happened.
Yeah, look what they're doing to Texas and Louisiana, down there where you guys live. Them boars, you know, shoot every one you see and make it into sausage. Make a business out of it.
In Louisiana, you can kill a wild pig without a license any time of the year, as many as you want, no limit.
Good.
Yeah, as many as you want. Yeah, and they taste good. What hurts? They taste good. Another thing that tastes good is them damn nutria you got down there. Them swamp rats. Nutria or whatever they call them.
Nutria, yeah.
Yeah, nutria. Yeah, they taste good. A muskrat tastes good. You're up there. Hey, James, you're up there where they have muskrats. You know, muskrat was called swamp rabbit. Muskrats, they're good eating.
Well, I wouldn't. The way the rivers are by me up over here, not this river, but the where I've seen them, I wouldn't eat those. But you know, they're in pristine areas too. You know,
Down towards Maryland, they're more popular in Maryland. They're more popular in Maryland.
I have fond memories of the Chesapeake Bay when my aunt and uncle grew up there, and used to take me out fishing and crabbing and everything on the cabin cruiser. We used to go down to near Virginia, past the Annapolis, the Naval Academy, under the Bay Bridge, the Chesapeake Bay Bridge.
It's beautiful out there.
Well, we done, yeah.
That's gorgeous. Yeah, that's gorgeous. What'd you catch? Rockfish? You catch stripers? Rockfish?
Stripers, rockfish, weakfish, and during the R months, loaded with oysters, or you can eat oysters in every which way.
Now, Ronald, Ohio, Ronald, do you have any beer or anything you want to show us tonight?
Nothing special. I'm just drinking another Hams. I'm trying to find a single of Coors Yellow Belly. I can't find it. I can find Busch. My buddy drinks Coors. Around here, the only thing you can get in original Coors is a 12-pack. I don't feel like buying a 12-pack unless I give it to my buddy. But I'll get a hold of one.
Well, let me tell you what we get here
tomorrow, or you have your date lined up.
Let me tell you what we can get here. We can get a 6-pack of Coors pint cans, the tall cans. 6-pack of Coors pint cans for $4.53 plus tax.
Damn.
That's 8 beers. Yeah.
$4.50 plus tax. Oh, look at Thomas Fiddler. He's psychedelic now.
Someone else have a headache? Mine's splitting.
The Scooby Wascooey Wabbit. That what's her name? Nina was mentioning the French Wabbit.
What? I want fun.
She said they had fragile bones. If you have one as a pet, you'll keep fracturing their bones. I think that's what she meant. Every time you pick it up and grab it, so they're good for eating. They're better for dispatching. You know.
Yeah,
never heard of that.
Now, Nina, if you want to join, you can join. We're going to be on for 30 more minutes, 32 more minutes.
Yeah, scallop.
Like
excellent. Trader Joe's. Oh, the price went up on deep scallop. Oh, you got the cowbell.
Hey, y'all want to hear something interesting? Or maybe you'll think it's boring. I was looking at all these videos of sperm whales, blue whales, and all these other whales that people have seen off the coast of Louisiana, you know.
Moby Dick or Moby's Dick. Yeah, Moby Dick. That's it was a sperm whale.
Huge whales right off the coast of Louisiana. How do you like that? And even killer whales.
In the Gulf?
Yes.
Damn.
Even orcas?
All of that. Now I've seen
usually they like colder water.
Yeah, I thought
everybody says that water is supposed to be warming up your way.
I thought
they got videos of them out there in the Gulf. And I've seen a lot of dolphins out there. I've seen dolphins everywhere down on the Louisiana coast all the time.
They had a video of that super pod. They had, I forget how many thousands they said was in that pod. That was off of Huntington Beach, I believe.
When my uncle would go shrimping, he was pulling that shrimp boat, and they had dolphins following right behind that shrimp boat the whole time, coming out the water because you know.
Was his name Bubba Gump?
They followed the food. They
wanted to get all the stuff, you know. Like they would throw out all the other fish and the dolphins would eat it up.
That's weird for orcas to go from where they're originally from to the Gulf, where the water is so warm and so climate.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. That warm water doesn't make sense.
If you look at a map of their distribution, those things are all around. Just look at a map of their distribution; they're all over the world, you know. But I mean, of course,
like
they like
Johnny Cash. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. You like Johnny Cash, here, James? You look like a Johnny Cash, dude. You like Johnny Cash?
I do.
I'm
Yeah,
good with that,
I saw
man.
him
Yeah.
live. I saw him live in 1981.
The Ring of Fire.
Amazing.
Down the Ring of Fire, Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody
Was
say,
he with June Carter? Was he with June Carter then, Jay?
Yeah. And even
Wow,
his
that's
son,
a crazy concept.
even his 13-year-old son sang a song. Now, when one time my mother and I were fishing at the Gulf of Mexico, and she caught an eel.
what the?
Yeah.
That's
And
odd.
this big eel was there on the ground, and we were scared to touch it. And then these Mexican guys came up, and they were like, "Hey, yeah," and they were like, couldn't speak English, but they were like saying, "Could we have it?" And we were like, "Please do." And they took it, and he was showing it to the other ones. "Hey, man!" And they were all excited. And they left. I guess they were going to eat it. You know.
I used to prepare.
Let me tell you a real quick story. We go up to the Maumee River in Toledo, Ohio. Okay, and usually it was during the Elite Eight, right around Easter time when the basketball tournaments were going on. My buddy worked up. He was a pipe fitter. He had a room up there, so he come home on the weekends, and me and my other buddy go up there fishing. But we had a good time. Anyhow, I caught a 35-pound buffalo carp. A buffalo carp.
Chinese.
I was just going to kill it, leave it on shore, whatever. Well, these couple black guys come down. I said, "You guys want this thing?" And they said, "Yeah, man, we take it. We take it." I gave them that buffalo carp, and they scampered off, man. They were gone, man. They never come back. 35-pound buffalo carp. It tested my tackle.
Yeah, the Chinese
Freshwater fish.
like those buffalo carp.
Huh?
The Chinese love those, the buffalo carp.
Well, these weren't Chinese guys. These were African Americans.
What I'm saying,
Yeah, they loved. They were like, they couldn't believe I was giving it to them.
I see them in the
I
tank.
never even saw one.
Now, James, what were you about to say before Ronald told the story?
The easy way to prepare eel, not for cooking, but for getting them ready to be cooked. You get a long 2x4. You put a long nail on one end, and you pass the nail through one gill and out the other.
Whoa.
And then you make an incision and you skin it. You have to skin it, otherwise the organs will keep moving. You're like a zombie. Like that's the only way to kill it. You got to skin, because there's no scales. You skin the whole thing. It comes off like a condom, actually.
Damn. Ugh.
Yeah, you pull the skin off, and then they eventually die quicker. And then then you just cut the head off, and it's already a little bit of guts come out, and it's ready to go.
They smoke them. You put them in a smokehouse.
Yeah. Some German.
I see them catch them in them. They catch them in creeks up in New England. They catch them in the creeks.
Oh yeah.
I see it on them outdoor channels. Yeah, and then the guy smokes them and sells them for big money. Big money. You're talking $18 a pound.
My father. Hey, about 60 years ago, you want to hear this story? No? Okay, well, I'll tell you anyway. Now, about 60 years ago, just kidding. About 60 years ago, my father and his brother were on the Gulf Coast in Louisiana, and they started catching crabs like around 9 o'clock at night off this old highway bridge, because there's a new highway bridge, but they were on the old one. And they started catching them like crazy. Like every hamper they pulled up was full. And they just kept catching them. And they ended up staying till like 3 a.m, and they caught 26 dozen crabs. Wow. In one night.
What,
26
net, like an umbrella net? An umbrella net with like chicken legs or what?
Yeah, chicken pieces of chicken. And they would drop them down, wait a few minutes, and they would be full of crabs. They caught 26 dozen in one night.
Damn.
Yeah, people would go down to like Myrtle Beach, and you just take a big glass bottle or a 2-liter bottle and wrap string around it like a spinning reel. And then you tie that chicken leg on the end of it, maybe put a little weight on it, but wing that thing out there, and then you bring it in real slow. And them damn crabs would hook onto that chicken leg. In a couple of hours, you'd have a dozen and a half, enough for a meal. In an hour and a half time just sitting on the beach.
Yeah,
Yep. Didn't even need a fishing license because it was in the ocean. You didn't even need to buy a fishing license.
you should see the new crab trap they have now. It's like an umbrella. It catches everything. It just folds up like an
Yeah, it's an umbrella net. Yeah, it's an umbrella net.
yeah. A commercial crabbers in Maryland told me get chicken backs, tear the skin off, and it attracts more blue crab because they smell the flesh.
That oil. They want the oil.
Yeah, you just take the skin off the chicken backs and
it's like catfishing with shad, with cut shad. It's the oil. It's that sheen that goes through the water.
shad.
I'm a fisherman, man. I'm a river rat from way back. I've been fishing forever and a day.
There's
Just my son's stuff. The other day we were just taking for insurance purposes, insurance. But anyhow, he had over $9,000 worth of fishing equipment. That didn't include the boat. I could open up a tackle store. I love fishing, man. I love the outdoors. Hunting shop, same way. I had to get a balloon policy for my guns. And I don't have assault type weapon.
Sang that song, Shad.
Do you have a lot of fishing and do they do a lot of fishing in Massachusetts?
Yeah, New Bedford is on the southeastern coast of Massachusetts, and I think that is probably the place in America, like the top place in America for I forget how much money they make fishing, but they are like they make the most amount of money as a fishing port in the United States, so they're doing pretty good. Rhode Island is pretty good up and down the Narragansett Bay, they call that part of the Atlantic Ocean. I used to do a lot of fishing. We used to go off of the coast of Falmouth on Cape Cod and do some striper and bluefish fishing with the family back in the 90s and the early 2000s. I haven't done that forever, but we got a boat on Narragansett Bay in Rhode Island, and sometimes we'll cast a line, and when we're far enough, out of the way of other boats or power boats get in the way of a fishing line. Yeah.
My sister one time got bit. Oh, not bit. She was swimming in the Gulf of Mexico, and she got tangled up by a jellyfish.
Oh,
what all the man of war.
Portuguese man of war.
A huge animal.
That's a bad.
It stung her off. It stung her everywhere, and they brought her to the doctor. And she was screaming, and the doctor said, "Oh, well, all you got to do is get Adolph's meat tenderizer and make a paste with it. You make a paste with Adolph's meat tenderizer and rub it all over. And then in like 10 minutes, all the pain stopped and all the swelling went away."
What?
When you got stung by a bee, my mom always had baking soda and vinegar in the trunk of the car and make a little paste out of it. My dad had put a little piece of chewing tobacco.
I had a buddy's friend that used cornstarch and water mixture to put on and I got at his house once.
Yeah, well, what works for me? What works for me? If I get stung by a bee or a wasp, I use toothpaste and it knocks it right out.
Huh.
I guess it has baking soda in it,
Yeah, baking soda peroxide. Yeah, baking soda peroxide.
Rub
Some jellyfish things. Jellyfish things, they used to say to pee on them. If somebody was in like excruciating pain from jellyfish stings on their legs, you'd whip out your winger and pee on it, and that acid in your pee would take it out. Just like vinegar would take the sting out.
It's a bad sting, Portuguese man of war. And unless it's
I'd rather use toothpaste.
If it's a box jellyfish from Australia, you're a goner. There's no antidote.
Somebody asked in the chat if you can get stung by an eel. That I'm not sure of. They can probably bite. They do have teeth, but I'm not sure. I don't know enough about eels. I don't think that there are electric ones around this part of but on the west or the east coast of the country. But most got teeth.
They're in the Amazon. The electric eels are in the Amazon.
That's
No,
creepy.
they say those
Yeah,
eels that come up in them small
Amazon,
creeks in New England have an electrical charge in them.
Yeah, and the ones in the Amazon will kill you. They got
Yeah.
so much electricity it'll knock you dead.
Yeah.
Well, the native.
We were at the Gulf Coast one time at night, and we caught some jellyfish, and they started glowing green at night. They were glowing like lights on net. What were you going to say, Jaden?
They do glow. No, they do glow. The native Amazonian, indigenous people are more afraid of the stingray, the freshwater stingray, because of not because they sting, but because if they stick that serrated spike in you, the infection from the bacteria presence in the Amazon, well, it infects.
How about the one that goes up your wing wang?
Yeah, there's a that smells the urine and goes up your
Oh dear, sweet Lord.
urethra Franklin. I mean urethra. It goes up your urethra. That's how it got named when she was born.
Oh.
And then it opens up the spines. The dorsal fins and the pectoral fins open up, so it becomes difficult to pull it out.
You see why I don't like to swim in the Gulf? There's too many sharks. There's too many dangerous fish. I'd rather just go in a swimming pool. The Gulf of Mexico, they always got people drowning out there, and
getting dizzy.
All kind of problems,
Hey, Jay, I wanted to send an apology. I screwed up Wednesday when Mike Komaroff was talking about the brewery his beer was from, and I thought he meant Parkersburg, West Virginia, but he said Parkersburg, Pennsylvania, and I'm sorry, I don't know where that's at. I thought he meant Parkersburg, West Virginia. So I just wanted to correct that.
Okay. Yeah, Kevin, Nina's right. It's just people working out in the sun and getting a red neck from sunburn.
It's not from slapping each other on the neck when they said hello.
No.
Oh, it's a
glowing shrimp in the door. What?
Now they have exotic freshwater shrimp for aquariums, all different bright colors. Cherry shrimp or yellow.
Well, the little brine shrimp are good for your aquariums because they're like bottom feeders. They'll eat all the bad algae and they'll keep the, what do they call that, James? The nitrogen cycle going.
Yeah.
Well, that longer fish, I forget what my son has in his tank. They'll eat some of them brine shrimp. They won't eat them all.
Mm-hmm.
So
they'll suck a couple of them down. Just like we had snails that bred in our tank, man. Them fish went crazy over them snails.
Yeah, they're trying to mimic the wild because you have bottom feeders, you have mid-range feeders, and then you have top feeders. So you want scavengers for the bottom to eat the algae, to eat if you have freshwater plants, to eat all the waste matter before it turns into ammonia.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Now, nitrogen cycles means that you have like a homeostasis, a balance where the ammonia is converted to nitrates and then converted to nitrites, which is harmless, and then it evaporates after that. But if it stays at ammonia and the ammonia levels spike, then you got most people over.
You got dead fish. If your ammonia levels spike, you got dead fish, buddy.
Yeah.
Well,
dead fish.
Nose knows. You could smell it, but the biggest problem is overcrowding and overfeeding, or either or both. People.
Overfeeding's a problem. Overfeeding's a problem. It really is.
Yeah.
But no, I'll keep it going.
If you want to clean out your tank, just buy a little, very small baby crawfish and let it grow up in the tank. He'll clean it out.
I have heard that before. I got
a blue one in there now. It's like a real translucent blue.
Yep.
Real translucent, white and blue. Yeah, it's a neat crawfish.
When he gets bigger,
He's tough to find.
it'll clean out your tank for sure.
Because you won't have
Trapping in the tank. How else are you gonna? How else is that gonna clean itself out? How does it do it in nature? You got to start.
what I meant is the crawfish is going to kill everything in the tank.
Yep.
You got to get a bamboo shrimp. It's a filter feeder. It like the baleen on a blue whale or a humpback whale. You know it doesn't. It's not predatory. It's a filter feeder. Crystal blue persuasion.
Yep.
What's that?
Oh.
And then get some of bed.
Now, well, let me tell y'all what's coming up. So tomorrow morning, I'm doing a taste challenge, a Dawn Busters taste challenge, and it's going to be pretty dreadful. And then the next 2 weeks are going to be pretty dreadful and depressing. So, if you like to see, well, when you see what I'm doing a taste challenge with, you'll. So if you like to see some dreadful, depressing products go against each other in a battle of the bottom shelf, join Dawn Busters challenge, because if you're feeling bad now, after you finish watching, you're going to feel a lot worse. Now, what is you're saying? Do deeper research about a fake racist term, please. Well, I never considered redneck to be a racist term, but maybe I was aloof to that. I didn't know it was a racist term. All right. I don't really hear people in Louisiana saying that too much. Actually, you hear people on television saying that a lot.
Yeah.
I don't really ever hear people around here saying
it of the perspective of these people that are supposedly offended by these terminologies or offended by some event or incident that's happening. They look at it from the wrong perspective, meaning if I'm offended by something, that means that by default you must be offended by it, right? Isn't it common sense that we're all offended by the same stuff? No. You shouldn't be offended by something that somebody says because they view something different than you, to the point where I was conversing with somebody yesterday and they literally told me, and I will do the PC version, they literally told me to go run into traffic, effing turd. I'm like, you wanting to make change is perfectly fine and legitimate about stuff that's been happening recently in Minnesota. However, running into traffic will not solve anybody's problem anytime soon, and it will get rid of somebody that's trying to help you.
Right. Well, people are very boorish and rude, so what do you expect? Yeah. Now, around where I live down here, people say a lot of things that would be considered appalling maybe in other places that I would not repeat. But a lot of the things people say when I was growing up were considered like common speech. If I said it tonight on the internet, it would just be outrageous, But I mean, it's just the way I grew up. I mean, I just heard certain terms and it would just use, like you would say, pencil or a window shade or, peanut butter jar. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what Paula Dean was trying to explain when she got into hot water back then.
Wow.
She said she grew up. It's the way she was raised. As she was growing up, she just used to hear terminology and words, and people are so too thin-skinned nowadays. You have to walk on eggshells.
Yeah, and there were.
But man,
there were.
I got to interject. I live real close to the Mason-Dixon line. Okay, and in the northern panhandle of West Virginia, from like Moundsville up, it's different. Once you get below the Mason-Dixon line, buddy, you're in a different world. You're in a different world. We
Pepperoni.
used to bring black boxers down there, and people would boo the shit out of them.
Mhm.
I had a good friend. We used to go to car auctions, a place called Shinston, West Virginia, and it was terrible. Yeah, we had to stand up for him, like almost come to fisticuffs. And I got a lot of black friends. I'm not racist in any form or way, but what they're doing with these riots and stuff, it's terrible. They should arrest them people. They didn't need brought under control. I'm old enough to remember when they sucked, down in Alabama with the freedom marches and stuff, where they had the dogs attacking people, and that was on TV.
Yeah, people are so.
Nobody got killed. I mean, it's a terrible mess. It really is a terrible mess.
I just saw it recently. You know what people aren't reporting about on the news is that it doesn't matter what race somebody is. There's a lot of different people that are coming together down there with fully understanding their Second Amendment rights. They're defending businesses. They're standing out in front of businesses with their own arms and with their own guns. They're defending it against looters and people that want to burn these buildings down.
I would do the same thing. I would do the same thing. If somebody tried to break into my business, believe me, they'd have a bullet in their kneecap.
Yeah.
I'd shoot them right in their knee. I wouldn't kill them, so to speak, but I'd shoot the son of a bitch in a heartbeat. It wouldn't bother me one bit at all. And I don't care who criticizes me about that or not. I'm going to shoot them. And I got the arms to do it. I'm licensed to carry. Shit. I'm licensed to carry. I can go anywhere with my gun. Plus, in Ohio, we have open carry. As long as I can open carry anywhere I want to go, as long as I check in with that city's police department. I register my firearm here. If I'm not allowed to carry it, here it is. But when I leave your city, I'm taking that firearm with me. Now, some places you can carry, Pittsburgh, they've had it. They've had open carry up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
you can walk around the city with an AK-47, a AR-15. I don't own one of them firearms. I don't care for it. I own revolvers, I own shotguns, and I own high-powered rifles. And if somebody comes around me, I can see a long ways. And I'm a pretty good shot. I don't give a fuck.
Hey, wait a minute.
If you don't screw with me, I won't screw with you. Leave everybody alone. I'm happy doing my own thing.
Hold on a second. Wait, back up. Now, I've said this like 1,000 times. I wish people would not come on here and use cuss words.
I
feel like I'm talking to the wall, But I'm gonna put the hammer down. I'm telling you, if it keeps going on, it ain't gonna keep going on. You dig what I'm saying?
I did. I know.
That's just a fact. But I don't mind what people having opinions about things at all. But cursing, go to the bar room and have at it and have a great time. And
I let the F word fly, and I apologize. That's not acceptable. It's not acceptable.
Well, in some channels it is. They curse all night long. I'll watch some of these channels, and if they say and, but, and the, it's unusual. But I just don't want it on this channel. Now,
I can appreciate it.
I don't want to give any opinions about what y'all talking about because it'll go on too long, and I want to get off of this at 7:02 or 8:02 Eastern. Now, James, what do you got to say? No, I wouldn't carry a gun in a paper bag. We have open carry in Louisiana.
Yeah, some states have it, like Tennessee. You can have a collection of anything, and it's very easy to get. A concealed carry permit. They just do a quick background check, and then of course in the Northeast it's much more difficult. But now Wheeling, West Virginia, that's in the Panhandle, right, Ronald?
Yeah.
Wheeling.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like Does it go as far as Lake Erie, or just wedges in between?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
you can catch 79 north will take you right into Erie, PA.
Oh, okay.
Right into Erie, PA. Well, Wheeling at one time they messed up because they had a chance. It was supposed to be it was supposed to be Nashville. Wheeling, West Virginia, the Capitol Theater, that was the hub of country music, you know, and they lost it. They screwed up somehow. There's a long story behind it, but yeah, it should have been Nashville. Yep, Wheeling, West Virginia.
Yeah, there was a situation where the coal miners were on strike and they were protesting, and I don't know if it was West Virginia or not, but the governor of that state called the National Guard to actually to attack.
That's further. That was further south. That was way further. That was down by Kentucky. Yeah, that was down by Kentucky. No, Wheeling, it was a hub. I mean, you know, Abraham Lincoln, he stump speeched here. It was a railroad crossing. It was the cigar capital. You know, before Tampa Bay was world renowned for their cigars, it was Wheeling, West Virginia, Stogies. Yeah, Marsh Wheeling Tobacco Company. Yeah. They're chewing tobacco. That's actually where, from my understanding, where Mail Pouch originated was in Wheeling, West Virginia. Yeah, there's a lot of history around here. A lot of history.
Yeah. I've been to 48 states. So I've been to West Virginia. I've been to 48 of the 50 states, but I got 2 left to go to, you know.
Yeah, West Virginia is beautiful. You go down to the highest point in West Virginia is called Spruce Knob. Spruce Knob. And it's into a place called Gandy Creek. And you can go down there and catch fresh, you know, native brook trout and stuff like that. But it's also down at that New River Gorge. And that's where they jump off that bridge. They have Bridge Day down there. Jump off the New River Gorge. It's absolutely beautiful.
I got a magazine article.
There's nothing more pretty. I love mountains. I don't care for the beach.
I got a magazine article back there about the New River Bridge when they built it in 1977, and
yeah, it's not far. There's a Sutton, West Virginia. You know, there's a Sutton, West Virginia, like 20 miles.
A lot of drive time. Yeah, saved a lot of drive time. You can still drive on the old route, but it'll take you a lot longer. Oh, I'm missing Alaska and Hawaii.
You'll get there.
You've been to?
You'll get there.
Cody,
we'll have a fundraiser for you. One of them. What do they call them pages where you donate money to? We'll raise money and take you to Hawaii.
Yeah, I don't need the money. I just need the time and initiative. I've been to half the Canadian. I've been to half the Canadian provinces, but only the east. I've been to all the Mexican states that touch the United States. I've been to 48 states, and I've been to Costa Rica and the Bahamas, and I was at the airport in Honduras twice, but I didn't get off the plane. But anyway, I haven't been to.
I took a trip to space one time.
What?
I took a trip to space one time.
Oh, space? That's pretty good.
I never did it anymore.
I haven't been
far away.
You've been to Cody, Wyoming, Jay?
I've been to Gillette, Wyoming, and I've been to Laramie, and I've been to what's the capital called?
Cheyenne.
Yeah, Cheyenne. I think I've been there too. Yeah, I wrote it down somewhere. I've been to Wyoming. Wyoming's mostly flat, like it's high elevation, but it's flat. But they have some mountains.
So you get out west in the Yellowstone. Wyoming's in Yellowstone, or Yellowstone's
they got a lot of
in
mountains, but a lot of it's flat. A lot of it's flat. I've been to Colorado, of course. Oklahoma many times. Texas, of course, many times, because I can get to Texas in 3 hours. I only live 206 miles east of Texas. I live 10 hours from Mexico. I can get to Mexico in 10 hours driving, maybe less.
Oh, El Paso is right across from Juarez.
I have been to Juarez.
Nice.
It's a very dangerous city. It has the highest murder rate in the world, almost.
Yeah, but I mean that part of the Rio Grande I hear is almost dry. It's very narrow, or it's like in other words,
over there it's pretty wide. But when you get down to like Matamoros, you could walk in it. I was down in Mexico a couple of years ago. No, 6 years ago. But I go all the time. All right, so I was down there and I was looking across into the river, and there was a Mexican guy walking in the river with crawfish nets. He was catching crawfish, and he was walking right up to the U.S. border and catching crawfish. But they didn't tell him anything. I guess maybe he did that all the time, and they knew he wasn't going to try to sneak across. But he was just out there in the river, and it was only up to his ankles. He had obviously walked across from Mexico, and but I guess people sneak across all the time. There is a wall down there, but it's more like a big fence. It's a big wall, a fence, not a wall, a big metal fence. It runs for miles around. It goes right behind people's house. It's expensive, yeah.
I heard every Sunday a lot of people in Mexico come to Texas to shop from in the El Paso area. They get checked. They go to retail stores and they go back home.
And also Nuevo Laredo, and Nuevo Progreso, and Matamoros, and I've been to all those towns down there. Like I can't name them all. It's too many to name. I could though, but San Luis, Rio, Colorado. Well, that's by California. I've been to.
Yeah, Tijuana was interesting. Tecate, Mexicali. The northern Ensenada. I went to Santa Rosalia. They're all like northern Baja.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, Ensenada was nice. It's the fishing port of Baja. It's like the primary marine commercial fishing port, and you see all kinds of raw fish, all cut up for sale, marlin, everything.
My brother was down in Acapulco.
We got to get off the air now. But let me say one more thing to everybody, because we could go on a long time. First thing, William Kepley's starting right now. They're doing an event. If you go to his channel, What's the ABV? Y'all can watch that. So that'll be very good. And secondly, if you ever go to Washington, D.C., go down by the river, and there's a floating fish market. People think I'm lying. Well, I'm not lying. Let me tell you, because I walked around in it. It's a fish market that floats on pontoon in the river, and it's huge. It's not like some little dinky thing you're thinking of. You would not believe this. Okay?
Don't go to Washington, D.C. right now. They're having protests right outside the White House.
Oh, well.
It's dangerous right now.
The Potomac River is probably where it was.
I bet you're right, yeah.
Anacostia River, but go check it out. I'm telling you, that's more interesting than going to look at these government buildings. What, Eric?
There's a beautiful river area over there.
Oh, yeah.
All the trees are in bloom and blossoming.
And if you talk to me off air, I'll show you where you can park for free down there. I've done it many times.
Sweet.
Yeah, and the botanical gardens, the United States National Botanical Gardens, right across the street from the U.S. Capitol, is free, and it's great.
Yeah, it's
beautiful.
Yeah. Well, that's it. We're ending the broadcast. Sorry, Jane's going to close out with a musical piece, and then that's it.
Musical piece.
Well, regular Emmett Otter jug band, all right.
Newport,
Aye, aye, Captain.
Newport, Rhode Island. I got this.
Yeah, Rhode Island.
in the 1980s, late 1980s. Ah,
How do you join that ABV thing? Good, just Google it.